And thanks so much for tuning into the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. Today is Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in all week long. We are at the end of the book of Exodus, and we are in Exodus chapter 40. I'm going to read the last portion of Exodus chapter 40, verses 34 through 38. Verse 34 says this: Then the cloud covered the tabernacle, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. This is the completion now of the tabernacle, and now the Lord's presence is filling the tabernacle. Verse 35, Moses could no longer enter the tabernacle because the cloud had settled down over it, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Now, whenever the cloud lifted from the tabernacle, the people of Israel would set out on their journey, following it. But if the cloud did not rise, they remained where they were until it lifted. The cloud of the Lord hovered over the tabernacle during the day, and at night fire glowed inside the cloud, so the whole family of Israel would see it. This continued throughout their journeys. That is absolutely amazing. The glory of God, a Hebrew word is Shekinah, the glory of God. The purpose of the tabernacle was so that God's presence would dwell and cover the people. They would experience the power, the glory of God. And one thing that I wanted just to highlight there is that when God's glory was so thick in the place, the cloud. I mean, I don't know if you've ever, flown and you went through the clouds and you couldn't see for a second and then you went above it. I mean, could you imagine the power and the glory of God just so thick like clouds? And then at nighttime, there was a fire. And they wouldn't leave until God's presence was lifted up, and then they left, and he was guiding them. One thing that we have to understand is that, God is our guide. It's another name for the Holy Spirit, is that the Holy Spirit is our guide. He's our comfort. He's our counselor. He's our advocate. But so many times we get so stuck in our own head, in our own experiences, in our own agenda, in our own preferences. But here's the thing, we can experience the Shekinah glory of God. And what we need to do is we need to recognize his presence. He's constantly pursuing us, and he wants his presence to be filled, our lives to be filled with his glory. But it's that choice. These people, just like today, could choose to experience the presence of God within the tabernacle. We can choose to experience the presence of God by sitting, by waiting, by acknowledging who he is, by emptying of our mind and our agenda and the busyness. I talked about busyness just a couple days ago here on the Daily Dose. Let's not get stuck on the pattern of this world and the successes of this world. But what we need to do is we need to pause and reflect and enjoy the glory of God. Because as we do that, our perspective changes. We no longer need to conform to the pattern of this world, the counterfeit glory of God, the counterfeit joy, the counterfeit happiness, the counterfeit success. God has in store for you so much more than what this world can offer. So would you choose today to experience the glory of God? Would you choose to take the veil off your face and just empty yourself and allow God to fill you with his glory, with his presence, with his power? Hey, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in all week long. I want to encourage you to join us as we continue in our series on the life lessons of Moses tomorrow morning. I'm excited to talk about conflict, opposition that Moses experienced as he was leading the Israelites, and how we can deal with the opposition and criticism that we face today. So I want to encourage you to join us in person, online. We'll be back on Monday also for another Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth.